Hey guys, today we're taking a look at SlingStudio. This is a brand new product. It was shown at NAB this year. One of the most innovative products, in my opinion, on live streaming, live switching, live production. And it makes it easy because it's completely wireless, or can be. And even the main hub can be battery powered. So you could literally pull it out of a backpack and have multi-camera, all wireless, wherever you are. And then if you have internet connection, you can live stream that at the same time. From an iPad, you can control all of your video feeds and actually switch between camera angles. Let's run through it a little bit. There is a lot of pieces here. So first we're going to go through kind of the hardware, what it comes with, what it does, and then we'll get into the app, because that's really where you could see how this thing works. First thing is the SlingStudio Hub here. This is the wireless base, and this is it right here. What you do with this is you power this on, and all of your video feeds will connect to this unit. So if you have an iPhone or an Android device, you can actually install an app, and your video from that phone will stream to this device. So whether you're kind of sitting around in a different room, or your iPhones are on tripods or something, that video from your phone is streaming wirelessly back here, and someone with an iPad can see all of those video feeds. It can support up to 10 video feeds is what they say. So really cool, because you just make this on, you could run it on battery power, just show up in a room and have all your iPhones streaming to this. Now, if you want to use other cameras, they do sell the camera link adapter here. And let me show you what that looks like. Over here is the camera link adapter. I have it on top of a GH4. It has HDMI out. Your HDMI is going to stream from the camera link back to this device. So now you can have a wireless feed from one of your more professional cameras. So you can have all your fancy lenses. Backtracking a little bit, the hub here has to be plugged into a wall when you get it. It comes with a charger. It also comes with this HDMI cable. It is a mini to full. And when you want to use battery power, you can get the optional battery found over here. And then what we do is we just dock this together, and then we can run this now off of battery power. Now the battery does not come with a charger. You just use the AC wall unit that comes with your hub, and then you can charge your battery that way. As you can see, it's kind of blinking blue right now. It goes through a boot up process. Once it's solid blue, that means it's ready to start connecting to your devices, or you could start connecting your devices to this when it's solid blue. So it's blinking right now. Now the reason they give you this HDMI cable, it is a mini to full, is you can output the display from here to a monitor. If you wanted to kind of see what was going on, you could see either the program feed or a multi-view feed from this device. And so they give you this cable. This has a mini HDMI out, and then you have a full, so you can connect it to like a monitor if you wanted to. Optionally, if you want to connect a camera feed here, there is an HDMI input as well, and it's a full HDMI. So you could take one of your pro cameras and output the video feed. So if I took like my GH4, I could just run a video or a HDMI cable out from my GH4 right into this device. And again, I can stream that device directly to Facebook or YouTube or wherever, and I can actually have this as part of the other video feeds that are coming into this device. So you could wire one if you don't want to buy the camera link. Moving on to the camera link, you see I have the HDMI connected to my GH4. I'll get to that in a second. They do come with a couple of cables here. You get a USB here, a mini USB. That is to charge the camera link, because you could charge it via USB. It's rechargeable, so there are no batteries that you replace in here. You just charge it up via USB. I guess you could power it via USB as well. They do give you a cable. This is a Type D to a mini. So some cameras that have a mini HDMI out, this camera link has a Type D input. I bring that up because this is a Type D input. My GH4, some of your Sony cameras as well, have a Type D output. So right off the bat, I didn't have a cable that would work with this for this camera. So what I had to do is I have a Type D to a full, and then I have an adapter here that is a full to a Type D. So on both ends, it's basically a Type D, which is the smallest HDMI. But that's how you would get the camera link set up to a camera like this. Getting back to the SlingStudio Hub here, there's actually a dedicated line in. So as you have multiple video feeds coming in here and you're switching between those camera angles, you could have dedicated audio in here. So if that's coming from a line out from the DJ or house audio, you could pipe it in here. So as you're cutting different camera angles, your audio doesn't sound different. And so you could have like a wireless mic plugged onto your talent, and then you can have the receiver plugged in here, so you could have dedicated audio going in directly here. Now there's a port here for an SD card. You cannot use this product without at least an SD card in here because it gives you the option to record. Now you can record either the main program feed, or you could record different ISO recordings from the different cameras. So they will each have their own recording that is being streamed back to this device, which you could later edit in post if you wanted to have like a timeline of all the videos coming in here. You could have that option to record. Now an SD card is not always ideal, so they do sell this USB Type-C expander. You plug this expander to this unit. Now you can use an external hard drive that is USB powered. So you could use like a USB thumb drive or USB hard drive. Just make sure that you have it fast enough to be able to record all of the video streams that you're attempting to record from this device. So this expander here will let you use external drives, but internally it has the SDXC card, so you could record your program feed right away. All right, so what we're going to do is set up the different video feeds. We have an old Android phone. This is the Galaxy S4. So Android kind of smartphones are fairly inexpensive these days, but we have an iPhone 6 here as well. And then we have the camera link on a GH4. So we're taking the HDMI feed and we're going to send it wirelessly to the hub. So when you boot this guy up and it's solid blue ready to accept connections, what you want to do is you want to take your device and you want to connect to the hotspot. So this will show up as like SlingStudio. So you connect to that Wi-Fi hotspot, you install the SlingStudio Capture application, and then we launch that. So let me show you on the Galaxy S4. We launch the app, we're already connected, and we should see a feed. I'm going to move this over here. So as you can see on the iPad over here, we have one of those video feeds coming in. We're going to launch the one on the iPhone, and then I will place this over here. So we have two video feeds going right to the iPad. Now to get this guy going, let's boot up the GH4. We also have to power on this camera link here. So in order to connect the camera link to the console app, we have to go through a few steps. So we have to go into our settings here, and then my camera links, and then we need to turn this on. It will scan for a camera link that is turned on right now. All right, so there you go. We've got 3 camera feeds going to the SlingStudio console. Now, before we could go live or do any recording, we have to create a project. You'll notice if we just double tap one of these, it'll ask us to create a project right now. So let's go ahead and type that out. Now I'll show you some of the settings that we have here. We have video output rate. You can name your project, where you want to record the project. Our SD card shows up here and how long we have to record, whether we want to do live broadcasting or not. So that depends on what you guys want to do, whether you want to do live streaming right away or you just want to do live switching and record that and edit it later. You could do that. If you have an internet connection and you also want to do live broadcasting, you would enable that feature. Now, some of the recording options you have here is the program feed. That's basically as you switch camera angles, it will just record that main feed, all the different camera angles that are being seen by your audience. Or you can do a recording of the multi-view, which is like quad view. You could see multiple sources at the same time. That will be in one recording. Or you could record each video feed individually, as well as the audio line in individually as well. And that will allow you to edit in post, kind of like multicam editing in post later. Now the next option you're going to have is configure audio. So you can actually record audio from the different camera feeds coming in, like your iPhone or your Android or your GH4. Or you could just record the line in audio and mute all of the other audio. There's an option where you can do audio follows video. So every time you cut to that camera, it will use the audio from that camera. To me, that's kind of annoying unless you have a specific reason that you need audio from that camera in that location. Otherwise, switching camera angles, if your audio switches, it sounds kind of weird. So for me, I would choose one audio source. So you could choose audio from one camera, and then as you're switching video, it will still use the audio from that camera. Or you can use the audio that does a line in here, so it's dedicated audio line in, and then just switch between the different camera angles. So once you have that set up, then you can start switching between your different camera feeds. I have to apologize, one of my camera feeds dropped. My Samsung phone died. The battery is not good in there. It's very, very old. But you still see the iPhone and the GH4 at work. So you see that it's displaying on the program feed on the bottom here. And what we could do is we could just tap on any of these camera angles and it will switch that in the viewer. So if we were to tap on the bottom one here, optionally you could take one of these video clips and you could drag it down into the window and it will do the switching for you. You can also control different transitions and crossfades. You can also add graphics in here. Let's take a look at the other options in the application. So there's also a kind of health meter in here where it shows you all the different video feeds that are coming in, what their battery life is, things like that, how good their connection is. Now remember, this is connecting wirelessly like a Wi-Fi network or a router or a hub. So your distance is going to determine how far you can be from this. I haven't used it yet in a environment, so I'm not sure how far I could go, but just think about your local wireless network, your router at home, and the distance you can go with your computer to stay connected. The other options we have here is to record our feed and also go live. So if we go live, it'll ask us if we want to go live. I'm going to cancel that. If you recorded your program, you could play it back in the app. Just click on the little top button here and then you click on playback recordings and it'll give you a couple of folders. So depending on what type of recording you're doing, you'll find it in that folder. There's quite a few things you could do. I probably won't go over them all today, but you also have different dissolves here. So we could do a cut, a wipe. So let's do a wipe here. So if we clicked on another source, you'll see that it wipes over. We could do a dissolve. So if we do a dissolve here, I'll click on this and you'll see it actually dissolve. So there's a lot of features in this app, pretty much like how you would want to do a basic live production, live switching, live monitoring. Now I'm going to call this part one of SlingStudio because we're going through a lot of different pieces here. Today I want to show you all the things that they have to offer, kind of how it works, and you guys get an idea of how you can use it out in the field. Again, we can do this all wirelessly. If your friends have iPhones, they can all connect back to your SlingStudio. You could have this in a backpack and you can start recording an event and start switching and doing live production, live recording, live monitoring, live streaming. Now, there are a few cons that I've run into already. Number one, get a good phone. My Android device here, the video quality is not that good from the app. I think my hardware is too old for the app, but on an iPhone 6 it works great. The video plays perfectly fine. Also, it sucks up your battery because you're using Wi-Fi and video streaming at the same time. So you do have to have, if you plan on using an iPhone, you have to have like a USB battery and just keep your phone going. Also, there's a delay on the device. It's about 2 seconds. I haven't tested it accurately, but somewhere around 2-second delay. When you're doing a live stream, nobody's going to know the difference of what's happening on the event, but don't expect to project your live feed on a monitor because that 2-second delay can be distracting if you're projecting like at a concert. All right, in part two, hopefully I will have used this at some event, but I could totally see myself using this because I do a lot of multi-camera angle events. Some smaller projects, I could probably do it with these iPhones. I think it'll be easier because when we're doing multi-camera shoots, live switching, I have to set up cameras in different locations and I have to run cables. Cables are not pleasant, especially if you have crowds. And then your ATM or your switcher always has to be plugged in. There's no battery power option there, and you always have to have a monitor connected to that. So this is battery powered. I mean, it could sit in your backpack. Your cameras or your iPhones could just sync to it wirelessly. There's no cables. You don't even have to bring a monitor. You just bring an iPad because this is wirelessly connected to there as well. You don't even have to sit next to this thing while you're switching. You can kind of walk around. So I think it's a great solution that SlingStudio has brought, especially to the consumer market, because live streaming for me I think is going to be pretty big, pretty popular, and they're letting you do this now, multi-camera angles, dedicated audio in, just so many features, graphic overlays, and So many cool stuff that you could do, and I think they brought it at an affordable price, but also at a simple solution because everything's wireless and through like your iOS devices. So anyways, that's a look at SlingStudio, the equipment. I'm going to do kind of a part 2 as I use this, but hopefully you guys get an idea of what this is and maybe how you guys can use it. For more information, I'm going to have a link below this description, also on the blog cheesycam.com.